The unthinkable just happened on SmackDown, and the entire foundation of everything we thought we knew about alliances and rivalries has been completely shattered in ways nobody saw coming. Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate himself, has aligned with Seth Rollins and the Vision faction in a development so explosive that it sent the arena into absolute chaos and left fans around the globe scrambling to process what their eyes just witnessed. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what unfolds from this point forward will redefine the entire landscape of professional wrestling. The moment began when Seth Rollins stood in the center of the ring with members of the Vision surrounding him, addressing the crowd about his master plan to dismantle the current power structure that has suffocated competition for far too long. Rollins spoke with conviction about building something that transcends individual glory, something that would force everyone to acknowledge a new order taking control. The crowd listened intently as he outlined his vision for reshaping the hierarchy, but nobody could have predicted what was about to transpire next. Paul Heyman emerged from backstage with that signature smirk plastered across his face, microphone in hand, walking with purpose toward the ring as confusion rippled through the audience. The Wiseman has been absent from television for weeks following his complicated history with both Rollins and the current power structures, making his appearance all the more intriguing. He climbed through the ropes and stood face to face with Rollins as tension filled every corner of the arena, with fans uncertain whether this encounter would end in confrontation or collaboration. Heyman began speaking in that calculated manner that has made him one of the most dangerous advocates in the business, addressing Rollins directly about the ambitions he had just laid out for everyone to hear. He talked about Vision requiring not just passion but power, not just determination but destruction, not just soldiers but a conqueror who could eliminate any opposition standing in the way. The crowd started buzzing as they began connecting dots that seemed impossible, with chants erupting in anticipation of something huge about to happen. Then the music hit and the building absolutely exploded as Brock Lesnar made his entrance, that intense focus radiating from him as he marched toward the ring with Heyman watching his every step. Lesnar climbed onto the apron and entered the squared circle, standing between Heyman and Rollins as the tension reached levels that felt almost suffocating. These three men share history filled with betrayals, battles, and bloodshed spanning years of the most personal conflicts wrestling has ever seen, making this convergence feel surreal. Heyman positioned himself as the bridge between two forces of nature, explaining to the crowd and to Rollins that the Vision needed the ultimate weapon if it truly intended to topple the empire that currently holds all the championships and power. He spoke about Lesnar being the missing piece that transforms a faction from a threat into an unstoppable army capable of crushing anyone who dares oppose them. Rollins listened carefully, his expression shifting from skepticism to intrigue as Heyman continued painting the picture of what they could accomplish together. Lesnar stepped forward and extended his hand toward Rollins in a gesture that seemed to freeze time itself inside that arena. The history between them includes some of the most vicious encounters in recent memory, matches that left both men battered and broken, feuds that pushed personal animosity to extreme limits. For Lesnar to offer this alliance represented a seismic shift in his approach and priorities, suggesting that his goals now align with destroying a common enemy rather than settling old scores. Rollins stared at that extended hand for what felt like an eternity while the crowd erupted in dueling chants, some begging him to accept while others warning against trusting the Beast. The visionary looked around at his Vision members standing at ringside, then back at Heyman who nodded encouragingly, and finally locked eyes with Lesnar who stood there unwavering in his offer. In a moment that will be replayed for years to come, Rollins reached out and clasped hands with Lesnar as the building exploded in a mixture of shock, excitement, and disbelief. The union was sealed as Heyman raised both their arms high above their heads, declaring that the Vision now possessed the ultimate destroyer and that the current regime should be very afraid of what comes next. The Vision members flooded the ring to surround their new addition, with Lesnar standing tall among them looking like a predator who just joined a pack of wolves ready to hunt the biggest prey in the forest. The celebration was intense but also carried an edge of menace as this new alliance began to sink in for everyone watching. Backstage reactions came flooding in immediately, with superstars expressing everything from terror to excitement about this development. The locker room understands that Lesnar joining forces with an organized faction rather than operating as a lone force makes him exponentially more dangerous. His ability to destroy anyone in his path combined with the strategic mind of Rollins and the manipulative genius of Heyman creates a combination that seems designed specifically to dismantle the bloodline and everything they represent. The implications for Roman Reigns cannot be overstated as this alliance appears constructed specifically to target him and end his reign of dominance once and for all. Lesnar has unfinished business with the tribal chief dating back to their last encounter, while Rollins has been vocal about his desire to prove himself as the true top guy in the company. Adding Heyman to the mix, someone who knows every strength and weakness of the bloodline from his years as their advocate, creates a threat unlike anything they have faced before. The Vision now boasts the most destructive force in wrestling history combined with one of the most innovative minds and supported by the greatest manipulator the business has ever known. This trifecta of talent and experience positions them as the only faction with legitimate capability to dethrone the family that has held championships and control for an unprecedented length of time. Every upcoming show becomes must-watch television as fans wait to see how this alliance operates and who falls victim to their combined wrath first. Social media exploded with reactions from wrestlers, analysts, and fans all trying to process the magnitude of what just transpired. The consensus seems to be that wrestling just changed forever, that the power structure will never be the same, and that we are about to witness warfare on a scale that eclipses anything we have seen in years. The pieces are now in position for confrontations that will define this era and crown new champions through the most brutal path imaginable. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss a single moment of what happens when this new alliance sets its sights on their targets and begins the systematic destruction of everyone standing between them and total domination.